temperature was 82 degrees. The normal high is 61. The record high is 83 degrees, which was set in 1939. Today's low temperature was 70 degrees. The normal low is 41. The record low is 16 degrees, which was set in 1960. 0.0 inches of precipitation fell today, which brings the monthly total to 0.17 inches. This is 0.67 inches below the normal amount of 0.84 inches for December. The total precipitation for the year now stands at 30.55 inches, which is 8.36 inches below the sunset time is at 5:16 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 7:11 a.m. Here is your area's open water boating forecast. Wind gusts may be higher. Tonight, becoming mostly cloudy. Lows in the mid-60s. Southwest 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, slight chance of showers from mid-morning. Then a chance of showers in the late morning. Slight chance of showers in the afternoon. Mostly cloudy. Highs in the upper 70s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Gusts up to 25 miles per hour in the afternoon. Chance of showers 30%. Thursday night, chance of showers and slight chance of thunderstorms in the evening. Then a chance of showers at midnight. Mostly cloudy. Lows in the lower 60s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Precipitation 40%. Friday.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on, you guys? And welcome back to another live stream here for today. Hope you guys are doing all right here. Let's go ahead and see Proxy right off the bat with a super chat. Proxy, thank you so much for that. Seriously, greatly appreciated. Saying glad to be here, even though I can't stay long, only until 10 p.m. Hi, Andrew Mods and the NW116 family. Well, Proxy, once again, thank you so much for that. Super, super generous of you. And, all right, my friends, hope everyone is doing all right for today. We got ourselves a lot to talk about regarding the overall situation across portions of the country, regarding to the, regarding the snow, regarding the severe weather. There is a lot of things that is expected to be kicking off regarding this upcoming system. But anyways, my friends, hope everyone is doing all right. Let's go ahead and see who is here. We have Haley here, obviously Proxy. What's up? Hope you're doing all right. Sewing Mistakes here, Megan. Let's go and see here. Anti-Spiral, Z-Nick here. Courtney's here. Frank's here. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone is doing okay. Glad to have you guys here for today. Once again, Proxy, thank you so much for the kind donation. Really does help us out in regarding to keeping us, keep us rolling and everything like that. But all right, so guys, we're just gonna go ahead and dive on into it. No ifs, ands, or buts. We have a lot to talk about. So first thing we're gonna look at here is the current radar view to honestly just kind of show what is happening at the moment. Like I said, we're not gonna really spend too long on this part of the stream. But this is basically just showing us what is currently happening here across the country. As of now, for the most part, it's relatively quiet across the west here. A little bit of snow for portions of Utah, obviously, as well as portions here of Colorado. And then we have this jet of moisture kicking across portions here of the Central Plains. Obviously, towards like Oklahoma and the portions of Kansas, we are seeing some rainfall across the way. In the southeast, relatively just normal for the most part. Nothing much going on. Northeast, pretty much quiet for the most part. We just seen a little bit of rain move its way across the way. Maine is still seeing some rainfall, but this is going to be exiting later on tonight. Anyways, but that's currently what is kicking off here at the moment. Next up, we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the future models regarding the next 3 days in terms of what we can expect. And then after that, we'll take a look at the satellite view regarding this system. Because believe it or not, the system that we're talking about today is already starting to show up here, actually on the satellite view, which we do need to discuss here. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys exactly what we are talking about. But first of all, let's go ahead and switch on over here to the models. First up, taking a look here at the NAM 3-kilometer model. Taking a look here. The time is on the top left-hand corner. Right there you can see, showing 8 o'clock p.m. for the 7th. Obviously, it's a little bit past 8, but this model came out just before 8. Anyway, so we track our way down here in time. Obviously, all that moisture across portions of the central plains will track its way up here to the northeast across portions of the Midwest. Now, here's the thing. A little bit of snow will be possible from a little disturbance that will track its way off of portions of eastern Wyoming and track its way over here towards portions of Nebraska, potentially delivering some snow across portions of the Quad State area between, South Dakota, portions here of Nebraska, obviously therefore portions here of southern Minnesota, and into portions here of northern Iowa, perhaps even portions here of Wisconsin. Could even see some snow here. As you can see here on the time we were just looking at, kind of expected to really start to kick off that snow maybe sometime around tomorrow afternoon. Obviously is something we should watch out for. Now, regarding any accumulations, it's going to be mostly light for the most part, although we could have some heavy snow bands that potentially could cause maybe some rapid accumulations across portions here of southern Minnesota. So that's something to definitely watch out here for. But after that, we do have ourselves a big blast of moisture moving here across portions of the west, and that's where we need to take it to the satellite view here right now. So guys, let's go ahead and switch on over here to the satellite view to take a look at what is currently going on here. So this is the satellite picture. We're going to go ahead and play this so you guys can actually see what is currently going on. So we obviously have ourselves, a few little things we do need to talk about. First of all, we have a bit of ridging and troughing starting to pull down. You can see how this air is starting to punch more down to the south. Now this is what we call a trough. Now this little troughing motion here, this is where the low pressure system is going to develop and move its way on here across portions of the United States. This right here, my friends, is the beginning of the system that is going to potentially cause havoc across portions here of the country. Like I said, I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm just letting you all know what is going to happen. Like I said, there's a big potential regarding snowfall across the north, as well as a big potential regarding severe weather across the south. There is going to be two sides of the system, one a wintry mess potentially across portions here of the northern country, and the other one a severe weather possibility across the southeast. We're going to dive more into the models here right now. So guys, that's currently what is kicking off across the way. Now moving on over here to the models regarding things, we're actually going to go ahead and switch over to this view here. Let's go ahead and actually update the page. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and switch back to home real quick. We're going to do over here to the models, and we're going to take a look here at GFS at the United States view. So once again, time's actually at the top right on this one. But as we track our way down here in time, we're actually going to switch the jet stream here so we can actually see what's going on. We're going to have this big trough that we were just talking about, that big massive energy that we just seen there, literally on the satellite view. This, my friends, is going to be moving its way in across portions of the country. Now, this is going to be in control of all the weather that is currently getting ready to kick off here across the way. So obviously, with this big old trough that's coming in here, we're going to have ourselves a bit of mess that is going to follow. First of all, a lot of cold air from the north will drive its way down here into the country with the opposite effect here with warm moisture pulling up here from the Gulf of Mexico. That is potentially going to support maybe even some tornadoes on the severe weather side of the system because we are having those strong northerlies. And that's honestly a really big concern, is actually the potential fact here of maybe tornadoes. Honestly, tornadoes will be a big possibility out of this upcoming event here, which is something we should definitely watch out for. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the southeast. We're going to switch over to the overall energy that's in the atmosphere. As we track away over here towards portions on Monday, you can obviously see a lot of this warm air starting to really pull up here to the north across portions of the way. We're really talking enough energy in the atmosphere to allow for thunderstorms to fire off, and who knows, potentially even severe thunderstorms. Storm motion will be mostly to the east-northeast here for the most part, but overall there is plenty enough energy in the atmosphere for this time of the year to allow for severe weather to actually be a concern. So that is something that is already in place. Now, the second thing we look at is those dew points. Now, really any of the values here in the 60s and 70s, which is persistent, will allow for enough moisture for severe thunderstorms and perhaps even tornadic activity to happen here. We definitely got to watch out for this. So this is going to be a multi-day event here, really kicking off from Monday towards like Wednesday. We're going to take a look here at the Storm Prediction Center here in a second. They already have risks on this here we're going to talk about. Next up, we have that lower level wind shear. That lower level jet stream is going to be screaming pretty much northeasterlies. Very, very strong air is going to be pushing to the north across the lower portions of the atmosphere. And as we go up into the upper levels of the atmosphere, the winds actually change their way a little bit more to the northeast. So that's actually allowing allowing us to have a little bit of turning motion, which ultimately leads to spin in the atmosphere regarding the winds. And like I said, with that enough energy there, as we take a look at, with that energy that's in place, mixing in with all this winds here, that is going to allow for potentially rotating thunderstorms, which obviously we call supercells, which could produce tornadoes. So obviously that is something we definitely, seriously, have got to watch out for. So everything seems to be in play here regarding all types of severe weather. So we're actually going to go ahead and grab a sounding out of this here. Like I said, you can see where the wind shear overlaps. We're going to grab a small sounding across portions here of Louisiana. We're going to switch over to the main stream here, or the main screen here, I should say. Let's actually pull this up now. Now we're going to zoom into this here. As you can actually see, there is going to be plenty enough energy here in the atmosphere. Let's see here, Broadway with a super chat. Broadway, thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciated. Big shout out goes to you. But there is going to be plenty enough energy here in the atmosphere, allowing for thunderstorms to kick off here. And you can see what I was telling you guys about here with, I'm not expecting you guys to know this, but you see how this is kind of curving like this? Kind of almost looks like a sickle. So that's what we call a sickle-shaped hodograph. And that's basically representing that turning winds as you go up in the atmosphere. So basically, you're at the surface, the winds are blowing one direction. As you go up in the atmosphere, they start to change directions, which that will allow for spin and potentially tornado activity to occur across the way. So there's enough energy. The winds are definitely in place. Very strong winds across a lot of the atmosphere, the entirety of the atmosphere, from the lowest portions to the upper portions. That is going to allow for very violent potential thunderstorm activity to occur. Now, as mentioned before, the Storm Prediction Center actually does have risks on this. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here to the main screen. So we're taking a look here out for the next few days. Really quickly, let's just talk about what's going on now. For today, we have a thunderstorm risk across the green shaded color, basically saying thunderstorms are possible, but overall severe storms are not expected. Same thing here for tomorrow. Actually, sorry, that is for tomorrow. This one's for today, that big area across the central U.S. Tomorrow is the one we just looked at there. And obviously here for Friday, we're also seeing just two little areas of thunderstorm activity. Nothing too crazy, not expected to be anything severe. However, once we move into portions kind of moving towards like Monday, like I said, we got to really be watching out for Monday, because Monday is going to be the first level of the severity. Moving into Tuesday, we have this risk actually moving here, a 15% risk. Two of them issued for Monday and Tuesday. Now, if you're going to ask me, I believe this will actually eventually be extended into day 8, or today's day 8, which will be next Wednesday. It's just a little bit too early, but I believe as this cold front does move its way here to the east, I believe Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is going to be potential severe weather days. We're going to definitely have to watch out for this here. But regarding anything, like I said, we do have 15% risk across portions of northeastern Texas, portions here of central and eastern Oklahoma, portions here of western Arkansas, also portions here of a lot of Oklahoma. I think I mentioned that before there. And then we move into Tuesday, where it continues for portions of eastern Texas, kind of for that overnight hour mark. Moving into Louisiana, portions of western Mississippi included, Arkansas for the most, and so obviously those areas will be at risk here for severe weather as well. And obviously, like I said, day 8 here being on Wednesday, next Wednesday, that is, a week from today, I'd say that eventually we would likely see some form of risk be issued more further east than these areas selected, so obviously watch out as this cold front does move its way towards the way. Anyways, but that's currently as of the Storm Prediction Center, and since we're on the topic of the Storm Prediction Center, I want to go ahead and show you guys here the National Weather Service, or the National Hurricane Center real quick, if you guys are wondering about that system across the Atlantic. There is now, they actually downgraded the chances of this thing forming from a 50-50 chance to a 40% chance of overall development. So overall, the chances are dwindling, the chances are actually going down of overall development here, so not really expecting anything. Even if it did form into some type of quote-unquote tropical system, which the waters are not supportive for tropical activity, but say if it did form into a tropical cyclone, it would not impact any areas, which is definitely some good news. So if you hear any things on the news talking about this thing being the #1 topic, no, it's really not going to do much of anything. So honestly, you should be relatively okay out of this. Anyways, but that is kind of what we are indeed talking about. So next up, like I said, there is actually two sides to this weather that we do need to talk about. Let's go ahead and switch on over here to back to the main screen. So here we go. So this is on our other set of models here. You can take a look here across the way. As we track our way down here in time, you're going to start to realize, honestly, I should probably use a different way of looking at this. So let's go ahead and switch on back here to this version so you can actually see the time and stuff. But anyways, regardless, what is expected to happen here, as we track our way down in time here, you can see that big shot of moisture here across the west will move its way inland here. Obviously, developing that low pressure system across portions here, the upper levels there, kind of towards Colorado, eventually moving in towards the central United States. Now look at this. It is going to be a comma shape. You can obviously kind of tell there is that cold front that's going to be developing. It's pretty low resolution because this is a pretty far out model. This is the GFS model, by the way, if you guys want to know about that. But this is the cold front moving its way across the region. And if you take a look at that, that's where the low pressure system is located. All this warm air, as mentioned before, will be moving its way up here to the north. That's where we get our strong winds moving north. Potentially could cause some tornadic activity, what we call a lower level jet. Will be in place, some pretty strong one actually, some very, very strong winds across the lower portions of the atmosphere, pulling north. We're pulling in a bunch of rich moisture here from the Gulf of Mexico. And actually the opposite effect will be happening on the back end. We actually have some cold air from the north, kind of up from the Canadian Maritime, moving its way down into the country, basically crashing into one another. Those two air masses will crash between the warm and moisture-filled air and the cold and dry air. The two total polar opposites will be colliding, which creates that instability which will be needed for thunderstorms to fire off. But as mentioned before, this is what's going to be happening. So overall, like I said, as mentioned, we do have this low-pressure system. They rotate counterclockwise. So what is going to be happening here is all this warm air will be pulling its way up here into the states and obviously wrapping behind. But at this point, basically, the overall air has cooled down a lot. You know, the air is pretty daggone cold here, and that's where the moisture will be mixing in with that cold air, allowing for heavy potential snow across portions of the north. Now, if you're in any of these states, like I said, if you're in any of these states between Nebraska, North and South Dakota, portions of I'd even say possibly Iowa, it really depends on where that central tract locates. Obviously, portions of Minnesota and even portions of Wisconsin potentially could get some actual like I said, could get some pretty heavy snowfall out of this. As you can see here, indicated in the dark blues, potentially showing some very, very heavy snowfall as this cold front moves its way across portions of the way, eventually then moving its way out of the country, kind of for portions later on that week. So that's kind of the plan. That's kind of what is in the forecast here. Like I said, this is definitely a pretty nasty event that is expected. Now, regarding the snowfall totals, you might be wondering, well, just how much snow can we potentially get regarding this system here? So as of right now, regarding the snowfall accumulations, like I said, it's a little bit too early, but we're just going to briefly peek and look at, and we're just going to briefly look at them. Now, what you're going to see here is obviously still not finalized. Obviously, what you're looking at here is still not final, but this is just a glimpse of potentially how much snow we potentially could see out of this system here, according to some of the models. Now, first up, the GFS model has a lot of that heavy snow across portions of northern Nebraska. Let me actually move this over here to the other screen to make it a little bit more easier to read there. But anyway, so most of the heavy snow, according to GFS, will be across portions of northern, like I said, obviously northern portions here of Nebraska, southern portions here of South Dakota, northern portions of Iowa, and the southern portion of Minnesota. Potentially, we could see some snowfall totals, potentially up to half a foot or more across some of these areas here, with the heavy snowfall kind of mostly being here across southern Minnesota, as according to this model being the GFS. Now, the next one we're going to look at here is the European model. This is what we call the ECMWF. This is another model we're going to be taking a look here at right now. This one shows pretty much the same thing. So a lot of the heavy snowfall will be in place across portions here of South Dakota and the portions here of northern Nebraska, obviously southern Minnesota too, and portions here of Iowa. Like I said, it's kind of right there in that boundary between what these two models are saying, kind of there right in southern portion of Minnesota as well as portions here in northern Iowa. So that's definitely something to watch out here. Which is really, really crazy. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on it regarding the snowfall. As of now, it looks like potentially over a half a foot could be possible, but just know it's still in the early stages. Obviously, this could very much change. I mean, here's the Canadian model talking about potential more snow for portions of Iowa, maybe even up near a foot in some areas. As you can actually kind of see the markers pull up there towards 10. Once again, still very early news here for the most part. The European model not showing as much for the most part. Now, if we mix all these models together, this is what we call the National Weather Service blend of models. You can kind of see that most of the heavy snowfall is, as of now, expected for portions here of northern Iowa and the portions here of southern Minnesota. So definitely something we do need to watch out for. I'd even say it's possible we could see potentially up to a half a foot of snow if you're in northern portions of Iowa and the southern portions here of Minnesota. So definitely got to watch out for that. But anyways, that's what's going on there regarding that, my friends, and what is currently kicking here with the models and everything like that. But like I said, if you have any questions, my friends, please make sure to let us know. That's what we're here for. We're here to prepare for this event. Like I said, that's the reason we go live here several days before the event happens. We did a live stream, our first live stream on this event here yesterday, and things are continuing, as you can obviously tell here. Things are in the works. So it looks like this system will be a thing to happen here. We've already started to see the key signs of this system already starting to form across portions here of the way. If we take a look here back at the satellite view, as mentioned before, we'll go ahead and switch this over to the western view. But you can look here, that little trough that you see up there, just going to move on this over here, that little trough that you see going on there, that little dip that is happening, that is actually the beginning of this system. You know, that big punch of air that's actually heading down south, that is that low pressure system that's starting to develop here. Eventually this thing will track its way here in the country, really start to strengthen across portions of the central U.S., and then track its way up here more to the northeast. So that's kind of what we are talking about regarding this system here. So we actually have ourselves some high pressure in here across portions here, you know, on the opposite side, what we call ridging. So basically the air moving up and then the troughing coming down, which is that low pressure system. Eventually this will be the one that tracks its way into the country. So that's something we definitely got to watch out for that. Let's see here. Anything for Kansas City? So for Missouri, regarding any severe weather, as of right now, honestly, I would tell you, regarding the severe weather potentials here, it's still a little too early, but I'd say you definitely have some effects out of this system here regarding things. Now, if we take a look here at the Storm Prediction Center regarding your specific area, it does not appear that as of now there's any level of severity, which I should probably switch to the main screen here. It does not appear that there's going to be any level of severity for you right now, but just know this could definitely still update. So we'll have to continue to watch that there. We'll have to continue to watch that there, Haley. So if there's anything that I can do, let me know. Like I said, just continue to inform me as we do more of these update videos or more of these update live streams, and I'll check it every time we do this just to make sure that you guys are obviously staying up to date and stuff like that. But anyways, my friends, but that's kind of what's going on there. So once again, just please be safe out there. But anyways, but that is what is going on there. So. But anyways, my friends, once again, thank you all so much for joining us. And like I said, if you guys are just now joining us, we got quite the system ahead of us. We are watching a system that is expected to bring heavy snowfall across portions here of the northern portion of the country, as well as severe thunderstorms across portions of the south. Now, if we go ahead and play this in motion, you can see, according to the GFS model and just multiple models in general, as we have this strengthening low pressure system that tracks its way here into the central portion of the country, this will deliver some potentially very, very heavy snowfall, once again, towards portions of Nebraska, North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin here. That's kind of the zone where we are going to be potentially be seeing some heavy snowfall accumulations. And like I said, obviously, with that being said, really, it is going to be possible. We could see some of these areas here getting up to over a half a foot being possible. So definitely is really, really crazy. Let's go ahead and see here. Got a question coming in here from Sewing Mistake saying, will that back up into West Oklahoma? I am not in it yet. So regarding that severe weather risk here, as we just now looked at for you, it's possible. Honestly, I'd even say that it is a possibility we could see some severe weather nearby there towards you there, Sewing. So it's something for you to watch out for. It just depends on how early that cold front initiates, I should say, or initializes. So obviously, yeah, it will be something that you need to watch out for. So Sewing, come back here tomorrow, and we'll give you more updates with the models and stuff like that here soon. Within the next few days, we should be getting those, those mid-range models that should starting to pop up here for the most part. Actually, probably not tomorrow, probably the day after here. I'd say Friday we should get a lot more of those mid-range model supports. But yeah, that's what's going on there, my friends. And like I said, with the big picture that's going on here, if we take a look here across the northern portion, or on the big picture, you can see, as mentioned before here, back on the satellite view, you see this big dip that's currently kicking off right now. As we continue to push this through, that's where the dip is right now. You can see it punching down to the south. That is going to be the system that is going to basically redevelop across portions here of the Rockies and really start to pull in here across the way, dragging up some very, very warm and pretty much moisture-filled air across the south, and then obviously pulling down some very cold air here from the north. I mean, obviously, more up there in Canada, it's a lot more colder. Obviously, the higher you go up, the more colder it does get, especially for this time of the year. since we are heading into winter. But like I said, there's still a lot of warm air here in the Gulf of Mexico, and there's a lot of cold air here up north. And they're basically just going to be mixing in together, and that is going to spark thunderstorms. And it's going to spark a pretty decent cold front across the way. And like I said, and as a result, as all that moisture pulls up here from the Gulf of Mexico, this is actually going to allow for a lot of moisture and a lot of precipitation to be present across portions of the northern country. Obviously, with that being said, as mentioned before, that leads to big concerns of snowfall. And like I said, potentially we could see several inches of snowfall being likely as a result of the system. And it looks like the low pressure system is actually going to be basically stalling out across the northern plains here. I mean, we're kind of looking like stalling out across South Dakota. And honestly, if that's the case, this could allow for heavy, continuous snowfall to occur for several hours. And who knows, maybe even locally those snowfall totals could get up even higher, in which that is something we do need to continue watching. But like I said, I mean, honestly, I'm in actually decent shock here for the most part of how well the models are showing here in regarding accumulation. As we looked here, it showed a lot of the heaviest accumulation pretty much just right around in these locations in southern portions of Minnesota and northern Iowa, kind of showing well up over 6 inches being possible. That's as of now, but just know that, you know, it depends on where the center of the system is, how slow it's moving, how much moisture is pulled up here compared to relation to what the models show. That'll show us how much snowfall. So what you've just seen there a minute ago is not the final result. This is still several days out. This will most certainly change regarding the target area of the heaviest snowfall, as well as potentially the accumulation amount will likely be different as we track away over the next few days. So we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be updating you guys every night regarding the system. So if you have not already, consider hitting that subscribe button, my friends. It'd be greatly appreciated. Obviously, it'll help you guys stay informed as well. That is what the channel is about. And like I said, obviously, with that being said, this cold front is going to really start to spark off here for Monday, kind of Monday afternoon, Monday evening here, and obviously for places, kind of surrounding these areas in eastern portions of Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, and Arkansas, Louisiana. Severe weather is going to kind of start around those regions and eventually track its way more here to the, mostly to the east here, maybe even a little bit more to the north. I'd even say it's possible that severe weather could drive more north. Obviously potentially even into places here towards Missouri. Maybe could get some severe weather out of this here as well. But kind of once you move into portions of Iowa, the chances of severe weather kind of just dwindles down for the most part. But overall, like I said, this is something we definitely do need to watch out for. I mean, this is going to have very serious impacts here on multiple ways. Like I said, regarding cold temperatures, I mean, even cold temperatures will be a result out of this. If we take a look here at the temperatures here, you can see just this big-ass thing, really, really big old thing here of, this very cold temperatures really driving their way across the way. I mean, we're seriously talking, well below zero, or well below freezing there. I mean, we're talking literally from the 10th and even lower in some of those areas here. I mean, this is seriously going to get very, 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 very cold here for the most part. So we're definitely going to watch out for that. As a big punch of air is going to be moving through. I mean, look at this. The GFS model is actually supporting negative 15 plus, which is going to be absolutely nuts. Very, very cold here. So we're going to have to watch out for that big cold blast. So obviously regarding things, regarding the snow out of this, the severe weather out of this, and obviously the temperatures out of this, hey, we got a lot to look forward to. I mean, this is seriously a concerning event. And like I said, honestly, this is going to have some very large impacts. And like I said, me as a person who has studied weather for multiple years, this is a concerning event. And like I said, I'm not saying this to scare you guys. I'm not saying this to obviously spark fear or anything. I'm being as honest as I can be. Obviously, I want to be as honest as possible. I'm not here to hype anything up or anything. This is strictly off the Storm Prediction Center as well. This is also news from them. So seriously, this is a big deal. And this is something we definitely need to watch out for. And like I said, with all the ingredients that will be in place here out of this, I mean, we take a look here back at the GFS here, taking a look here back at the overall, moisture here, on the overall, instability that's going to be present. I mean, we have more than enough energy here in place, for actual thunderstorms to kick off here. I mean, we're literally talking over 1,000 joules per kilogram, which if you don't know what that means, which most of you probably won't know, just know that anything over 500 allows for potential severe weather to kick off. And we're having double that moisture, that double instability there. There should be plenty enough energy in the atmosphere to allow for actually severe thunderstorms to kick off here. So definitely a lot of energy is there. And as we track our way down here in time, obviously over the next several days, I mean, that energy is going to track eastward. So obviously areas here like Oklahoma, portions of Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, portions of Mississippi, and maybe even Alabama and further will likely have some impacts here regarding potential severe weather here. So that's something to watch out for. So overall, if we take a look here at the views, we're going to go ahead and circle where all of that heavy energy is located. Now, if we take a look here at the moisture, we measure in dew points. I mean, typically 60s and 70s is perfect, and that's actually the Goldilocks zone. We're seeing literally mid to upper 60s across portions of the way. So we literally have we have a lot of instability there, a lot of thunderstorm fuel. We also have those moisture-rich surface those moisture-rich surface dew points. Like I said, once again, in the 60s and 70s, that's the perfect Goldilocks zone. Even upper 50s can work. We're literally talking around the Goldilocks zone of the amount of moisture that's there will allow for thunderstorms to easily form, as well as allowing the potential of, potential tornadic supercells. Potentially, tornadic activity could be a result out of this. Now, like I said, if we take a look here at those winds towards the lower portions of the atmosphere, you can see that the northerlies are pretty daggone strong. We have some strong winds here from the south, from the south moving north here at about 40 knots, which that is more than enough to allow, for tornadoes to actually spark. So we have the moisture, we have the instability, we actually do have some very, very strong lower level winds there. And as we move this up into the atmosphere, you can actually see how those winds do actually change and move to the northeast. So as you can see, we have a bit of wind directional change, kind of moving to the southeast a little bit as you go up here in elevation, starting moving north mostly, and then changing more to the northeast. So that is going to actually create some spin as the energy from those dew points, from that warm, moisture-rich surface fuel, and regarding those dew points, all that warm air is going to rise in the cold environment, and it's going to interact with that changing wind directional pattern, allowing for potential sparking of rotation to occur, which could lead to what we call supercells or potentially rotating thunderstorms that could drop tornadoes. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, it will likely, if this event does play out, which it looks like it is, compared to what we've seen over the last several days, there's tons and tons of support on this system here. I mean, the last several models have been supporting this. I mean, it's actually going to be quite nuts to see this. But like I said, obviously with that being said, I mean, this is going to be in place. Everything is in place here. We look, the overall winds are there. The moisture is there. Like I said, dew points in the 60s and 70s, near 70s, I should say. Obviously enough instability there as well. I mean, hey, guys, everything is in place for this. So obviously on the severe weather side, it's something to watch out here for. If we take a look here at a few other models regarding things, here's another model here. This is actually the GDPS model. This is actually a different model here. We're going to take a look here at this, which I don't think we don't have. Yeah, we really don't have many views here across the way. But anyways, regardless, if we take a look here at the U.S. view, you can still see that big old trough that's going to be moving through. That big old dip in the jet stream with the low pressure system tracking and strengthening over the central plains here, really pulling up some strong moisture. I mean, like I said, really starting to pull up those warm, surface, that warm surface moisture here from the Gulf of Mexico will be pulled up here into the States, and that cold air will be blasting from behind. Obviously, the interaction zone will be right across these areas here, where the cold front will be intact, and that's where the thunderstorms will be firing off here. So once again, if you guys are wondering about timing regarding the severe weather, we do have ourselves, as of now, from the Storm Prediction Center, this is the official National Weather Service forecast here. We do have ourselves a risk for severe storms in northeastern Texas, portions here of central and eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, portions here, obviously, small little slivers of southwestern Missouri there. That is the zone where severe weather is going to be possible Monday. Then as we track away over here towards Tuesday, this risk shifts its way more to the east. Obviously, as the cold front does move its way eastward. Now, this now introduced portions here mostly of the entirety of Arkansas, now including portions of heavily in portions here of Louisiana and into portions here in western Mississippi. So obviously, this is going to be allowing for multiple. I mean, there's seriously multiple days here of severe weather. Like I said, as of now for Wednesday, there's nothing according to the Storm Prediction Center, but I would not be surprised if we do have ourselves another day here of severity being on Wednesday. The reason I support this, the reason I am saying this, is because if we take a look here back at the GFS model regarding that overall instability that's going to be there, like I said, you can see. We're going to switch this back to the main models. You can see how all of that energy starts to push north here on Monday, kind of for portions like late Monday. You can see how that starts to push north over here. And then obviously as the cold front moves through, you can very obviously see where the cold front's at. being right here. That's the cold front. Obviously, you can see how that energy moves its way here through Wednesday. As you can actually see for late Wednesday, there's actually enough energy here in portions of Mississippi and Alabama that potentially could cause some more thunderstorms. Potentially, who knows, maybe even severe across the way, which I'm going to grab a sounding really quickly just to kind of see what is going on here for Wednesday. And as you can see, there is actually, we'll switch this back here to my full screen view. You can actually see how there is a basically a sickle-shaped hodograph there. That's basically showing that turning motion I was talking about in the atmosphere, and obviously there's enough energy to allow for it. So who knows? That's just more support to my argument here, showing that even Wednesday could potentially have some severe storms. Honestly, I would be shocked if there is no risk here for Wednesday. I'm honestly very, very confident about that happening. So obviously, we're taking a look here for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to start next work week is going to be potentially nasty regarding two sides of things. Like I said, in regarding to the severe weather and in regarding to the winter weather in regarding to things. Like I said, obviously for the north, heavy impacts of winter weather will be possible. And like I said, taking a look here back at the main view regarding the system, as mentioned before, if we take a look here back in the satellite view, you see this big punch of air pushing south. This is the beginning of that trough I was talking about. This is where the low pressure system is located right now. This thing is going to track its way here into the country and eventually track its way up here to the north as of the forecast models, as support of the forecast models. And as we take this way even further in time, you can see how we have that big dip, that big moisture supply. The big hit of moisture really moves its way in across the west, delivering some upper level snowfall, and then that central low really strengthens. Once it gets that kick from the Gulf of Mexico, once those northerly winds start to really pull in some warm, rich air, that surface low is going to strengthen very quickly as it does move its way up here across the central U.S., and obviously that is going to cause a lot of that moisture, a lot of that precipitation to actually wrap in across portions here of the northern country. And like I said, where you see that blue and stuff, that is where the heavy snow is going to be a likely concern here as the low pressure system is located across the central northern plains. And eventually, as we track away even further, according to the GFS, this thing's just going to kind of stall out over the next several days, pretty much until like Friday before moving out into Canada. Obviously, we are going to be seeing this. So regardless, my friends, this is going to have some potential serious impacts regarding the severe weather side and regarding the winter side of things. It's looking pretty interesting, and it really is going to be quite interesting to see how this does play out here. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on it. And like I said, guys, if there's anything that we can do to help you guys be prepared for the system, please let us know. And once again, as mentioned before, if you guys are just tuning in to us, if you are here across portions of eastern Texas, obviously portions of eastern Oklahoma, pretty much the entirety of Arkansas, and even portions, I'd even say, in western Alabama and a lot of Mississippi and Louisiana, watch out for severe storms. Definitely possible. Obviously, even areas here, maybe even further north, could potentially deal with severe weather. That's still kind of unknown at this point. It really depends on how far or where this low pressure is located. If it's more further south, obviously that brings the severe weather risk south. If it's more north, then that potentially brings the severe weather risk more north. So it really depends on where the pivot point, the central location of this low pressure system will be located to determine on how much ground of severe weather will be possible. But as of right now, as mentioned before, that's kind of the zone there, kind of once again right around in these areas of where the severe weather is going to be possible. And regarding to the winter weather, it's kind of around these areas that we're kind of concerned about with snowfall. So snow is going to be a possibility or a big likelihood across these areas, and severe storms is going to be possible across those areas in the south. So that is indeed what we are talking about. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Got a question coming up from Not Zach saying here, hey Andrew, I'm wondering if any snow could hit me in Stewart, Iowa, and if there's any chance for me, or am I going to have a white Christmas? Thanks again, Andrew. No problem. So in regarding to Christmas forecast, I'm going to go ahead and say this straight up. It is way too early to tell who's going to get snow. I know there's YouTubers that have put out a snowfall forecast. I don't like it. It's way too early. It is way too early to tell who's going to see snowfall on Christmas. For an example, we bring this model all the way to the end of time, being 2 weeks out, and we look at this. It ends on December 23rd. That is before Christmas. Even maximizing the long-range models, which you should never do, you should only go about 5 days out. But even then, the models don't even reach that far. Or like I said, the main models don't even reach that far. So it is just simply way too early to tell who is going to get snow and who's not. So, but whenever the time does come, Usually the week before, we'll start giving hints of who could see that as the models start to come into play here. But I really don't like forecasting more than a week out. I really, really don't. Unless there's so much agreement like this upcoming event we're talking about here, that's kind of, when we start to talk about long ranges and stuff like that. The reason we're talking about this and it's so far out is because we've been watching these trends here, seriously. We've been watching these trends here for the last few days, and they've been showing themselves worthy. Storm Prediction Center being the official news themselves, obviously the official news themselves, they're from from the National Weather Service. Obviously, with that in play, they already have things mentioning on this. So we got to really watch out for that here. But anyways, my friends, like I said, obviously we are indeed going to keep you informed regardless. I'll let you guys know whenever the time comes. Once again, it is just simply way too early to tell who is going to get snow. And honestly, I hate to say this, but it's honestly the truth. If you see any weather videos of people saying we're going to see a white Christmas and stuff like that, it's straight out wrong. Simply, we don't know. That is the simple answer I have to give you here. Like I said, seriously, it is simply just too early to tell. Very, very early to tell. And like I said, the main long-range models don't even go out to Christmas yet. I don't know why people are putting out forecasts talking about who's going to see snow on Christmas or not. Just a little bit of my own opinion, but I'm just saying that. But just know, we barely even know what's going to happen next week. Seriously, there's a lot of concerns. There's still a lot of question marks regarding the system. Even though GFS says this thing will be across the Central Plains, does not mean it will be. This thing could be more further south. Heck, it could even be more further north. That is what happens. Models become more untrustworthy the further you go out. I believe every day they say they become 10% more untrustworthy. So by day 10, by 10 days out, they are 100% untrustworthy. And then obviously here about 5 days out, it's a 50-50 shot. 4 days out, I should say, it's about a 60, kind of a 60% chance. So you guys can kind of see where I'm going with that there. But anyways, that is indeed what we are talking about there, my friends. But just something we're going to have to watch out for. Like I said, as before, seriously, we have two sides of things we got to watch out for. Once again, the snow across the north will be a concern here. And like I said, obviously, the rain in regard to the severe weather across the south will be a thing as well. But anyways, my friends, once again, if you have any questions, make sure to let me know. Like I said, I'm going to be here for you guys. You all know that I'm always here for you no matter what. I really enjoy being here with you guys. Seriously, an amazing community. Thank you all just for hanging out with us. Like I said, obviously, it's greatly appreciated. Just you guys hanging out with us. It's honestly the best. So thank you all for everything you guys have done. And like I said, just please stay safe out there. I'm going to continue to alert you guys. I'm going to continue to notify you guys, regarding this system here. So obviously, with that being said, we're going to continue giving you guys updates. So tomorrow at around 9:30, kind of like how we did today, we're going to come back here for another update regarding the overall severe weather and the winter weather thing here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ask, like I said, I don't ask for much on the channel, but if you have not already, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. It'll do you guys very well and keep you guys informed regarding the upcoming severe weather. So thank you all once again for joining us. Hope you guys have another amazing rest of your night, as I say all the time here, my friends. And but I think that is going to wrap it up. Here. If you have any more questions, throw them down here in the chat, and we will let you guys know. Once again, thank you all for being here. Like I said, we're here for you. Just know that 100%. Once again, if you have anything to say, throw them down the chat here, and I'll try to get to your questions as much as possible before we head off here and everything like that. But all right, but once again, guys, thank you all for your support here. Let's go ahead and see here. But like I said, there's just still a lot of unknowns regarding this here. Obviously, like I said, there is still a lot of unknowns with this in particular system here. Like I said, how far north and south the central low will be, and obviously things like that. But tomorrow, we're going to have some more information coming in from you guys. We'll take a look here at the same thing we looked at today regarding the upcoming, stuff like that. Like I said, we'll look at the exact same things we just looked at here and everything like that. Let's go ahead and see here. Got a comment coming in here from Proxy saying, "Good night, everyone. Sleep well. You as well, Proxy." Once again, thank you so much. Let's go and see here. Yes, we will have a better idea by Saturday. Yes. So every day, every hour that passes, I'd say every 6 hours that passes, we'll have a better understanding because each model runs 6 hours. Main long-range models go out every 6 hours, which, obviously, it'll give us new information and stuff like that. But this time tomorrow, we will have a little bit more of a better idea regarding to what we can expect here. Anyways, let's go ahead and see here. Chick-fil-A boy says, been subscribed since 1K. Well, thank you so much for that. Early supporter there. Thank you so much. Let's see. Rain says, bye now. See you later, Rain. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's go ahead and see here. Megan says, thank you as always, Andrew. Utah is having fun right now with this weather. Megan, I saw what you posted in the Discord earlier. It's really, really cool. And speaking of, if you guys would like to take a look at our Discord, links are down below if you guys would be interested with all that stuff here. But all right, my friends. Well, I think that is going to wrap it up here for tonight. Once again, guys, thank you all so much for joining us. So please stay safe out there. If there's anything that we can do for you, let us know. If you're nervous, if you're worried about anything, feel free to personally contact me by taking a look here at the, like I said, the Discord. Feel free to contact me if there's anything that you might have questions with and everything like that, and then we'll make sure to get to it for you guys. Once again, big thanks goes to all of you guys for supporting us. Thank you all just for hanging out with us tonight. And all right, my friends, well, I think that is going to do it. Actually, before we head off here, like I said, I really don't ask for much on the channel, but I want to go ahead and show you guys here something really quickly. Like I said, here is our merch page. The reason I'm saying this is because we have limited time only merchandise. Obviously, for the holidays, we have some holiday shirts here. All of these ones we just added are $29.99, excluding the NWW. That's the one always been there. But like I said, with all these ones, even the last, the hurricane season shirt here as well. Yeah, feel free to check those out. We got some really cool stuff. I mean, flip flops, shoes. I mean, mugs. Get yourself some merchandise here today, my friends, and obviously you can rock it out for Christmas and everything like that. Make a perfect gift for a loved one. Absolutely. All right, my friends. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'll catch you guys here sometime tomorrow. Once again, we'll probably be live around 9:30. That's kind of the plan here. And all right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us, and you all have an amazing rest of your night. And I'll catch you guys here in the next one. Stream's going to end here in 3 minutes, so you guys can say goodbye to your friends and family. And all right, my friends, I'll catch you all here in the next one. Peace out, you guys.
Lows in the mid-50s. Chance of rain 50%. Sunday and Sunday night, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers. Highs in the upper 60s. Lows in the upper 50s. Monday, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers in the morning, then a chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 70s. Chance of rain 40%. Monday night, mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of showers. Lows in the lower 60s. Tuesday, a slight chance of thunderstorms in the morning. Showers likely. Highs around 70. Chance of rain 70%. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers. Much cooler with lows in the mid-40s. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. Much cooler with highs in the mid-50s. Chance of rain 20%. Here is your area's open water boating forecast. Wind gusts may be higher. Rest of tonight, partly cloudy during the mid and late evening, then becoming mostly cloudy. Temperatures nearly steady in the mid-60s. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, slight chance of showers through mid-morning, then a chance of showers in the late morning. Slight chance of showers in the afternoon. Mostly cloudy. Highs in the upper 70s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Gusts up to 25 miles per hour in the afternoon. Chance of showers 30%. Thursday night, chance of showers and slight chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Mostly cloudy. Lows in the lower 60s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 40%. Friday, mostly cloudy. Highs in the lower 70s. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour becoming southeast in the afternoon. Friday night, a 20% chance of showers after midnight. Mostly cloudy. Windy. Lows in the lower 60s. Southeast winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly cloudy. Showers likely through the day. Slight chance of thunderstorms in the late morning, then a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Highs in the mid-70s. Chance of precipitation 70%. Saturday night, mostly cloudy. Chance of showers and slight chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then a chance of showers after midnight.